Hey friend, welcome back to Chronic Health Solutions. Okay, so we are officially in the holiday season, and I would guess that you guys are like me and you are feeling that familiar pressure of everything that's coming up. You know, there are going to be extra recipes, parties, crafts, events, coordinating schedules. It's all supposed to be special, but often all you feel is exhausted. Maybe your joints hurt, your brain is foggy, and the idea of adding one more thing feels impossible. I understand. And I just want to let you know that it's okay if you can't and you don't have the capacity to do all of the extras this holiday season. There are still ways to make this really special and meaningful without completely exhausting yourself. Today we're going to be starting, it's a little bit of a bonus. I'm going to be sharing it over the next 3 Thursdays. It will be a bonus episode for you guys on how we can make the holidays special and also focus on some simple healing routines that are going to help you to feel supported in the chaos of the holiday season without pushing you into a cycle of crashing that we've talked about in previous episodes. So let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to Chronic Health Solutions. If you're more than just a tired mom, I'm talking trying to make it through the day without crashing by noon, you're not alone. I'm Ashley, a wife, mom, and certified health coach. I have been where you are, battling chronic health symptoms and chronic illness, things like brain fog, joint pain, and fatigue that made me wonder if I'd ever feel like myself again. After uncovering root causes like stress, poor sleep, and hormone imbalance, I found simple health routines to begin to feel better, one simple habit at a time. Keeping up with your kids is not impossible. Pop in your earbuds and take a break from the chaos. It's you time. Hey friend, I see you. You are trying so hard, but nothing seems to stick. You want to stop feeling scattered, anxious, and exhausted. You want routines that are going to help you reset your stress, feel better, and be emotionally present with your kids. That's why I created my one-on-one chronic health coaching. Together, we're going to build anchoring routines from some micro habits that are small enough to fit into your life, but can also make a huge shift in your health. You do not have to do it all alone. One session is all it takes to start feeling supported and more in control of your health. To find the details, you can go to ashleybraden.com/coaching. That's ASHLEYBRADEN.com/COACHING. Or you can find the link in the show notes below. I'll talk to you soon. I can remember a holiday season where I was really struggling with some health issues that were making me feel horrible all the time. I just was struggling to get through everyday tasks. And then also I was determined that I was going to make the holidays really special for my kids. And so I was pushing myself, trying to do it all. I wanted, the perfect meals, the beautifully decorated home, and like this really calm, cozy environment. I just wanted my kids to have like these really special memories. But also, I was not in the place where I could push myself, but I chose to do that anyway. And what I remember is by like mid-December, I was completely depleted. My body was aching. I could not think straight. I had no energy. I felt stressed. I felt irritable. And what I realized was that I actually hadn't even enjoyed a single moment of that entire time. It wasn't that I didn't care or that I didn't want to do it. It was just that I was asking my body to do more than it could do and give at that time. And that's whenever I have started to kind of work with and really experiment with something called sensory anchors. And these are going to be like tiny, low effort habits that are going to help your nervous system to kind of settle and also create moments of comfort, but then also create that cozy environment in your home. It doesn't have to have extra stress or Pinterest. It's just things that are going to work, that are going to help to soothe your body, your mind, and also create that warm, cozy environment for your family. Okay, so let's dig in and talk first about what sensory anchors are. So these are going to be, like I said, low effort, but high impact routines that are going to engage your 5 senses to kind of cue your body to calm down and then also give you that extra support that you need, especially during the holiday seasons. These don't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be something extreme. It doesn't have to have a ton of extra prep. It's just things that we're going to do to feel soothing and safe in our home. Okay, so the first thing is that I want to say the goal here is we want to make sure we're keeping everything simple. We're not looking to add more to do to our list. So use your 5 senses to create small pockets of comfort throughout the day and also throughout your home. You don't need this full, huge routine or like elaborate recipes or complicated crafts. Just create some small moments that are going to signal safety and warmth to you and to your family. So here are a couple of ideas, and we'll talk about each of the senses. Okay, for sight. If you have soft lighting, I personally love Christmas because of this. Like when we have the Christmas tree up and the Christmas lights and all of that, you could have lamps, you could have candles, you could have, if you don't want to do candles, you could do like battery operated candles, anything like that, instead of having the harsh overhead light. I also would say focusing on seasonal decor that's easy to put up without stress. This could be like a small centerpiece, or it could be a string of lights. Maybe you also pick out a favorite cozy blanket that you love the print and the pattern of it, and you drape it over a chair. So every time you walk in, if you're like me and you see that, it just makes you smile. Also, that can kind of cue you to take a minute to rest, because you can take that warm, cozy blanket that you love and go sit in the chair for a couple of minutes to rest. Okay, those are a couple of ideas for sight. Now let's talk about touch. This could be something like a brand new warm, cozy robe, or warm socks or house slippers. It could be a weighted blanket that you put on while you're reading or listening to relaxing music. It could be getting some kind of like a really good quality lotion and rubbing that on like your feet, your hands, your neck, your arms, anywhere like that. It can also be brief, intentional touches with your family members, like a hug or a hand squeeze or something like that, where we are getting that connection with the people in our home. Okay, now let's talk about smell. This could be a low-tox diffuser option with like seasonal essential oil blends. Of course, you will always want to check if you have small children, pets, for safety on the different oils that are used. But you can look at, my personal favorite would be like Plant Therapy and Eden's Gardens. They typically have seasonal oils that I really like, a lot of their scents that they put out every year. So that could be an option. It could also be doing like a simmer pot. That's one of my favorite things to do. I'll add apples and oranges and cinnamon sticks and cloves. And if I have rosemary, I'll throw that in there. I will add like, what else? I'll actually add a little bit of vanilla extract, and I just put it on the stove and I let it simmer to kind of fill up the house with that warm, cozy smell. Okay, another option could be brewing a cup of herbal tea or even a cup of coffee, depending on the time of day and all of that, and then letting that aroma cue your brain that it's time to relax, or maybe you, if you're like me, you just like the smell of coffee, so it gives you that warm, cozy feeling. All right, now let's talk about taste. And this one we're going to kind of repeat a couple, but this could be something like sipping on a warm, comforting beverage, especially if you can sit down and really take your time to take a couple of breaths and rest while you're doing this. This could be like a pumpkin spice tea. I personally love pumpkin spice hot cocoa. It could be herbal tea, it could be chai, warm apple cider, whatever it is that you like, but taking the time to just have that. And another fun way you can do that is to do it with your children as well. Or it could be maybe you have a favorite holiday treat that you want to splurge and snack on. And this is something we can do mindfully without rushing and without guilt, but maybe that's just you taking a little bit of time to enjoy something that you really like about the holiday season. Okay, the last one would be hearing. This is probably one of my favorites because this is one that I do so frequently. So create a playlist of soft, calming music or nature sounds, or even like a favorite podcast that you really like. What I personally love to do, and I've shared this before, I have multiple playlists on YouTube that are like relaxing jazz music or outdoor sounds or like thunderstorm or whatever. And they have all these beautiful backgrounds, and I will just put it on my TV so that for everyone, like in that general area of like our main living area of our home, people can hear it and they can also see that really cozy environment. I like to switch it up. You know, if it's fall, I'll do one that has like a fall background. If it's winter, we do like a snowy background. There are also some with Christmas music that's instrumental that my kids really like to listen to, so we'll do that as well. It's just a fun thing that's really simple that really improves the atmosphere in our home, especially if someone's having a rough day or someone's really cranky and irritable. That's so simple, but also so effective. Okay, the other thing you could do would be to actually just have a few minutes of silence. And if you have children, you probably understand that having those like times of quiet, it feels very strange, but also very calming to your nervous system. So even if you have to get alone by yourself and it's just like 2 or 3 minutes, but you can just sit in the quiet and notice the quiet, that can be very calming and soothing as well. All right, friends. Right now, I want you, wherever you are, to choose one of those sensory anchors from this list and then try it for 1 minute. And if it's where you're driving and you can't do it right now, that's okay. Do it when you get home. But maybe it's wrapping your hands around like a warm mug of something. Maybe it's putting on soft socks or a warm, cozy robe and then noticing how it feels on your skin. What I have found to be really helpful on my healing journey is to stop trying to feel like I had to do all these big, massive things, but instead getting really intentional about the little things. And, I shared earlier how there was a season where I felt so horrible that I could not keep up with everything I wanted to do. And I'm so glad that I am past that I can now do all the fun stuff with my kids and keep up with them. But I do really believe that part of that was because, like I said, it might seem kind of silly, like, oh, I'm going to take a minute to realize what that warm, cozy robe feels like on my skin. But really it really can make such a big difference in your stress level, in your appreciation for the little things, in your joy, and that does impact your health. So I encourage you guys, practice one of these, see what happens, and then also remind yourself that it is okay to slow down during the holiday season. You don't have to do everything perfectly. If this is where you're like, hey, I really have to focus on my health, I'm going to be really intentional with the ways that I'm going to show up to make this special for my kids. And I'm also going to make sure I'm taking time for myself. Okay, friends, I hope that this has been helpful for you. If it has, I would love to hear from you. Come over, share with me, email me, come join us over in the Facebook group. I will have all of that linked down in the show notes below so you can reach out. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you back next time. Hey friend, I hope you found today's episode helpful. If you did, would you take a minute to share it with another mom who's struggling with chronic symptoms? And leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It means the world to me to know this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to go tackle those snack requests, and remember that a short walk, even if the kids turn it into a race, still counts as self-care. Keep chasing those little wins. Even when it feels messy, you're making progress. The information shared in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health routine. I'm not a doctor, and this podcast is not intended to treat or diagnose any condition. You're the expert on your body. Listen to it and reach out to a trusted provider for support.